Hello, everybody. Today we're picking up where we left off yesterday, doing a little bit of prep for our monthly campaign. Awesome, awesome. Looks like everything is working. Um, Looks like the screen is cut off a little bit. It's so weird, but hey, it happens. So let's go ahead and tweak this. I'm actually going to leave this the way it is for now because what we're doing is going to be working on maps. Um, if you remember from yesterday's stream, our group is going to be running around and they climb down this big long cliff, 99 feet high, and they're going to be traveling for a little bit and then they're going to have to be going up again, up this long slope. So we're going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to try a couple different ideas I have. I'm going to open up this. Here they are. It's just to remind me of where I'm going to be going. So I need to get a map. So the concept is there's this long, high slope that they're going to be climbing up, and these fungus are going to be attacking them while they're climbing up. So I was thinking of doing like a 3D map or maybe even a side version map. I don't really have the means or to do that. So let's try doing something like this. We're going to start with a quote today. And let's do a little sound to make sure our sound to work is working like it should. Yes, awesome. All right, so let's ask the Google, just out of curiosity. Cavern incline with fungi. And we'll take a look and see what images we get. See if there's anything here that looks. This is a game. This is Diablo. Yeah, this is a Diablo screenshot. Don't want that. This might be exactly what I want. It's not bad. It's not bad. I could change that to like download from Dreams Time, huh? All right. This isn't bad either right here. So surprisingly enough, there are some actual maps with this stuff on it. Considering I was expecting there to be 0, this handful is pretty good. Let's take a look at this puppy. See. See, I could easily get rid of that. I think I'm going to use this. All right, so let's go ahead and save it. We'll try a little tricky trick. We're going to call this Shroom Slant. Save it into downloads. So the imaging software I use is amazing. Pixlr.com, Pixlr.com. But there's one thing, somehow I changed the setting and it won't allow me to save it in the things I mess with into Fantasy Grounds. So I had to add one little step to the things. And it's not the end of the world, but it's like, what is going on? All right, so first of all, we're going to get rid of this by using our clone. We will zoom in, move, slide over. The purpose is here, we're going to get rid of the people. We're going to make our brush smaller, down to about 20, give or take. And we're going to take it from here. There we go. Let go, try it again. Now we're going to take it from here, so we change it to here, and then we go there we go. All right, so now we have our slope. And beyond that, I think we're good. I think we are golden. I don't care for this big giant one right here. So let's go ahead and save it. File, save. We usually don't save it halfway through. Mushy shrooms, absolutely. Welcome, Atomic. Looks like they were doing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe today. I was watching him play that the other day. Kicking butt, taking names. Lots of different characters you can play with in the latest iteration of Mario Kart. Pretty cool tracks too. So it was fun to watch. All right, so we're going to try to get rid of this big one. I don't mind the foreground here, but this one's just a little too obnoxious. I'm going to start my characters down here and have them move up. So let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. We're going to have it start from here, do our clone selection. Oops, hold on. What just happened? Control Z. There we go. There we go. So we're getting rid of this. There we go. Perfect. All right, so now we're done messing with our image. And like I said, they're going to be running up this pathway, sloping up through this cavern. And there's going to be a bunch of mushrooms and things attack violet funguses they just have these ropey tentacle legs that are going to be attacking them. It's a little too bright, but I don't honestly know how to adjust. like a layer effect, see-through layer thing. I'm just not competent enough about that type of things to know how that works. I can paint, I know how to paint and duplicate and stuff like that. But that's all right. If it still bothers me, I know how to do it in Fantasy Grounds. So that's what we're learning today anyway. So we're good. We're gonna save it. File, save, save as shroom slant. All right, and then like I said, here we do a little inception there. Ooh. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. There we go. All right, so bounced all over this morning, huh? How's life treating you? Well, I was a little grumpy this morning. It's one of those things where I wanted so much, I wanted a full 8 hours sleep. It's my day off, sort of, and life made it to where I had to get up half an hour early, so I was a little grumpy. So, if I had to get up 3 hours early, that's it's one thing, but just the last 20 minutes were like really 30 minutes. But anyway, I'm over it, and we're moving on. We're streaming, getting caught up on some of my prep, so hopefully it'll make, instead of flying by the seat of my pants, which Fantasy Grounds makes it easy to do, uh, I can make it a little bit more professional and a little more fun for my players. All right, so if you ever download or want to move an image from within your computer to anywhere to your campaign, uh, just find the Fantasy Grounds folder, which can be a little hard to do, but once you found it, what I did was I pinned it over here in my quick access, opening up in a new window, boom. So I've got the two side by side, go back to my downloads, which is where my image is. So within SmiteWorks, so if you have Classic and Unity, the one that says SmiteWorks is the new Unity. So you want to make sure you have that available. You're using that one, not if you go into this one, it just says Fantasy Grounds without SmiteWorks. So that's the difference. That's how you know which one is which. Go into campaigns. Now you can either go right here into Fantasy Grounds, drop it into your images if you want to have it. So then no matter what campaign you're in, or what game you're using, or game system, it's available to any time you're in Fantasy Grounds at all. In this case, I don't need this room slant somewhere else, so I'm just going to open my campaign called Wednesday 2nd. Go to my images. So here's all the ones I've dropped for that one. Take my shroom slant. Boom. Yeah, so I found this big map, and I might be doing that, messing with it a little bit today, because it's all these massive maps, and you can put them together and make this huge giant thing. Don't know if I want to do that because it takes up a bunch of RAM, basically. Uses up a lot of PCU work. If I'm not doing anything with it, if I'm not going to add any line of sight or any special effects to it, then it's fine. It can easily handle that much. But some of my players, especially, and me, don't have the most state-of-the-art PCs. So I try not to overburden them with too much stuff in my maps. All right, so I've now downloaded it into the correct folder. You just open up your assets here. So I'll go ahead and open this up. When I play, I like it the way it was, the tiny little symbols. But for this, we'll go to assets. Click down here where it says refresh folder assets. It'll tell you here in the chat, folder assets refreshed. Now I go to my images. I can type shroomy slant. So I'm just going to type shroom. You can also click on campaign and that'll open it as well. Apparently I have more mushroom images than I expected. I do. I should have put shroomy, but that's all right. Shroom slant. Create the image record. And what that does is it pops it out and adds it to the specific campaign. All right, so we're going to blow it up a little bit, quite a bit. Boom. And so we're going to do this as a 3D map. So we're going to throw on the grid, make it visible. All right, so this is like way, way too big. I'm going to start with 10. It's probably going to be down to 5. All right, so this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Yeah, so I need a little bit more than that. So let's go down to 7. All right. Yeah, that'll work. And then we're going to click here where it says Tint. Underneath it is a color picker. So I'm going to go with a little darker. So we're going to bring this let's see. I think what I'm going to do is go here to the color picker and pick like this reddish thing off this mushroom, the brown off the mushroom. There we go. That works. All right, and then we're going to make it a little bit less visible. So we're going to come in, turn down the opacity. The very bottom one is the opacity. So that tells you, how so you can make it completely go away. So we'll make it like half solid. I'm going to bring that down. Change the color a little bit to like a lighter. There we go. There we go. And then bring it down. Break it down. Okay. I may want to go with like a sideways slanty one because that's how they're moving. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, Yeah, why not? Let's change it up a little bit since they're going to be running up the hills and stuff. So we're going to go with this. So we'll open up our shroom slant. So we're going to change the name over here, click into this half, and we're going to say Fungus Cavern Run. And then I'm going to make it not identified. So if it was identified, this is what would show up. So especially for module maps, or like if you use the Fancy Grounds one that come with it, it'll say FG Battle Map 1, FG Battle Map 4. So instead of changing the name here, you can just make it unidentified, and then whatever you put in here is what the characters will see. So I'm going to take this map as well and link it. So this is the link symbol, and we're going to go ahead and go to my story entry here. We'll drop it in, and it's image fungus cavern run. I know you can't see it that well, but anyway, so here we go. So here's this. This is what we're going to open up the combat tracker just for a moment so you can see what the tokens look like. If we just click the friendly head skull, it'll drop it. So there we go. So there's our characters. as they move and romp and play. Working their way up the slant. So what we want to do is we want to fill in the, see if I can go ahead and get rid of these for the moment. What we want to do is we want to fill in all tokens. This artwork with some mushrooms and fungus and stuff going up the slanty stiff, and then they're going to get attacked. So I'm going to say this is the only usable area where they can move. So let's go ahead and go back to our assets. And I'm going to go to all. And then I'm going to go to up. I clicked on something here, that's why it opened up whatever it was. I'm going to type in shroom again. Let's go ahead and type fung, F-U-N-G. See what it gives me. All right, so I'm going to look at the monster that I have ready for this encounter. Where'd it go? Click. Encounter. All right, so this is what it looks like. I also have this one, so I'm trying to decide, do I want this one or this one? I think I'm going to go with this one. So drop that here, open it first, and then switch to this token. There we go. So now, yeah, there's all types of cool fungus and stuff that they'll run across later. All right, so these are all pretty much tokens. So I'm not really, nothing really here. There's nothing here I'm really interested in. Psychic fungus. Okay. All right, so let's go back and go to shroom because there were lots of shrooms. So there we go. See, so we have mushrooms and stuff. We'll be throwing these around on the map. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a paint layer for now. Click plus paint, add a paint layer. Click, so I'm going to double click it so I can rename it and call it shrooms. So I'll click it, you want to make sure it's highlighted. And now I'll just start painting some of these in here. Just go ahead and go with, so it's cool because they're almost white. So that means you can easily change the color, which I intend to do quite a bit. All right, so let's start with, I think I'm just going to go through most of them. Just go down the list, adding a couple here and there. So we'll start with this, boink. So now over here, we're gonna, let's just bring in our asset box a little bit. All right, so if you hold Control and click, it should change the size of the window. There we go. Find a content fortune teller, or otherwise known as a happy medium. All right, here we go. Boom. All right, so we got our first one. Now we're going to change the tint. We go to color picker and go to this like this really light blue. There we go. See, nice. Slap. Oh, we went to stamp. So we go. Boom. Shift. And Control changes the size. Boom. All right, so now we go to the next one. Group 2. Okay. Slap those bad boys in there. Pick a tint. Color. Color picker. We go with this brownish stuff here. See, there we go. Boom. And we're going to throw them here. Boom. Say OK. Shift. Boom. All right, now we're going to go to the third one. Number 3. Click, tint, and we will go with like a pink, well, purple. Okay, that's good. That's cool, man. It's cool, man. Shift. And we're going to do a cluster of those, make them a little bit more variety. All right, now we go to number 4. Boom. Tint. Let's go with like the color picker. Go with the grays. Add those right in here. Click. Now, if I wanted to layer them, I could. By just making a new paint layer, for example. Shift. We're going to bring this down. All right, go to the next one. Boom. Color picker. Let's go with this light blue again. Boom. Okay. Bring it down. Control. And you can zoom in as close as you want and see the high-speed details of the little mushrooms. Throw some more up here and around there. All right. So unlike the occluders, the art itself, so each one of these images, it's only shows one time. It doesn't have to rewrite all of the code and stuff, so it's I don't know all the specific little details and stuff, but it makes it pretty nice and easier on your PC as you when you're messing with this stuff. So I can add a ton of these and it won't make any difference as far as performance for the computer. You just want to make sure that you're not um, adding a bunch of line of sight stuff. The more line of sight you use, then the more that your computer starts slowing down. Tint. All right, let's change the color of these. So these are working off the color that's already there, not off white. So it is going to, everything is going to be tinted, the pinkish tint it is. All right, so I think we're pretty much done. We're just throwing these in here to make things interesting, to make it, because when we throw in the purple ones, it should make more, it should look more, make more sense. All right, so now we're going to take this, we're going to color picker. We want the purple. Perfect. Because we're going to have a bunch of these purple ones. We're going to bring it up a little bit. And bring it down. All right, so this is what we're looking for at so far. We're going to throw some more of these purple guys up here. Put a bunch of them. And then make it bigger. Shift to turn them. All right, now we throw in our bad guys. We're done with the play. We lock it back in. So here's our shrooms stuff. What we can do now is we can take some go here and go to dirt. I'm looking for the dirt that I have. So like this one here. Yep, this one here for exactly the one I want. And I'm actually going to take this one and drop it into my hotkey because I use the dirt a lot. Open this back up. What we're doing is we're adding some effects to the top of this, so it'll breaks up the sort of bright jumping. These jump out at you right now as you're looking at it, so it'll break that up a little bit and make it. I can also go to this. Actually, I'm going to go here first to this layer, and I'm going to turn down the opacity. So that in itself will help a little bit. See? Turn it down just a bit. All right, so now we're going to add another effect, paint. Plus paint. And go into our dirt. This one works as well. They're both really good. Drop it in. We're going to turn the tint way down, the opacity way down. Make it like 100. There we go. And we're just going to hit the stamp tool. Slap it on a little bit. What that does is it will do a little twist. Shifty, 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 twist. sort of breaks up what you see. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to go here to Effects. And we're going to go to Adjust Colors. And we're going to turn down everything. Might want to leave it a little greener. Yeah, we'll make it so we'll make it like a dark green like this. Turn down the brightness. Blur it quite a bit. And then we will apply, let's see. Make it like this. And what we're going to do is then enable the mask. And we are revealing an area. So let's see if this works the way I want it to. Where's our blur? Blur, okay. Control Z, okay. Add the blur a bunch. And then we just hold Alt and we just sort of like color these areas in a little bit. Add a little color. Let's see. So let's take this and let's go ahead and just put this down to black. Put this way up to brightness just a little bit. We're just adding some shadow now. There we go. Oh, come on. Adding a little shadow and a little darkness to the area. We might turn down the brightness a bit. Let's hold Alt. Turn the brightness down a little bit more. There we go. So it's just making these areas a little dark, adding some shade. All right, so there we go. Got a little bit better, a little bit more viewable scene of what we're doing. I am going to go back to the grid, turn that down a little bit more. We'll make it 95. It's not quite as bright. You can enjoy the scenery. And now what we're going to do is now we're finally going to add our monsters. We go here, we go to here. So let's placement. You grab these here. I'm going to put them here. So they're going to have to run up this. So we're going to put 2 of them here. One of them here. I think I'm going to put 3 of them up here. There you go. So now when I click this, it'll add them to the combat tracker and to the map. So we have the image, we have our bad guys added. We are ready to go. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that now. Add the encounter into the combat tracker. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. So that's where they are. We will add our players. So they will be ready to go. So these are going to be down here. So Lycus is in the front, followed by Vath and Rugs, with Carmen in the back and Zoeklos. There you go. So these things. Alright, so what's the CR of this? Let's go ahead and go back here. What is the encounter? It's a CR1. We're gonna make it a little bit more exciting. Let's add a carrion crawler. It's pretty low, but still we can boost it a little bit. Close this down, go to our NPCs. Campaign, NPCs. So we're going to add an air carrion crawler. They are basically giant worms. Not worm, but giant. My mind is going blank. Take a look. Here's the picture, and I'll explain it. These suckers. Caterpillars. That's what I was looking for. Giant caterpillars. It's a CR2, so that'll boost it a little bit. Makes it a CR3. So, maybe I have two of them. Let's try two. Let's see what happens. So the option here is if I leave it here, then it's going to be a very easy fight for them. And that's not a bad thing. It's nice to have a good fight every once in a while where you just go in as heroes, mop up the floor. I'm going to add another one because they're going to be able to see it from so far away. So we're going to take, the other thing we're going to do is going to add some linkage. So take the link here, drop it in to the map point so that I have access to it. Alright, so the carrion crawler is going to be farther away. I want them to close the distance. I might switch some of these here. Let's switch this guy up here. We'll do 3 and 1. There's one carrion crawler placed, and here's the second one. They're just going to be coming down. So what I'm going to do now is go in here and say menu, delete from tracker, only foes. So that deletes those 4, and now I can put all of them back into the tracker. So it shows all of my monsters. Put them back where it was before, and that's fine. Boom. They do move, so that's fine. I'll just have them be where they were, 2 and 2. Alright, so what's my CR now? Well, now my CR is 4, so that's good. I think I'm going to add in a couple more fungus because they're pretty low. Maybe one more. Let's add one more. Open up my thing. We'll add one more. Unlock. we'll slap him down here as well. And we're going to move you up all the way to the edge. What does that say? Cheating jaunt. Nice. All right, so they'll have plenty of time. They'll see them. They'll start shooting them, maybe moving up. And so we will leave it. So there we go. We have our encounter ready for them. We have our map ready to go. Everything has been linked. I do need to add some experience to them because I did not do that last night. So here's the party sheet. We go to the day before, which was the 7th. And all you do is you take the encounter. You go to the XP tab of the party sheet. And you drop it in. Giant octopus. And then you hit award. Boom. There you go. All right, so that's 1,500. Out of 27 to get the next level. All right, and now we have a cliff and ladder. So they've come here before. I'm actually going to use the same map I did before. So let's see. Let's go to images. It's a Fantasy Grounds map. So let's go with FG. Or let's see. It's a battle map. What was that? How many FG are there? FG battle map. Was this it? Cliff. I think this was it. Okay, why is it blank? There we go. Bunch of bones. All right. Yep, this is it. This is the one I wanted. All right, so I'm going to take this whole image, take this, oh, it may not work. I was going to see if I could rotate it, but I don't. If I do, I don't think everything will rotate with it. But let's see. Let's see how much of a hassle it will be. Click on this one, go to layers, and then go rotate. All right, so it does not, and I didn't think that would, but let's go ahead and now we take this. There we go, and we rotate you. And then we take you and rotate you. And then we take you and rotate you. All right, so now we zoom in and we fix the layering aspect of it. So we'll start at the bottom one. All right, it's a little wider than necessary, but that's fine. I don't care. I also want it to be bigger. Which way makes it wider? Interesting. I'm trying to make it. Okay, so here's our shade. We'll get to you in a moment. So let's go back to you. 10 width and height. All right, so I just want Okay, so now if I go like, so this is a rock wall. It's what I'm building. And it worked really well before, and then you add the shading to it, so it's not as bright. All right, so let's see. Go back, here it is. All right, so if I spread it wide, what happens? It starts turning. I want it to be, click. Come on, man, help me out here, buddy, help me out. All right, so what I'm going to do then is I think I'm going to, let's go to, I'm just gonna start fresh. Let's delete. We don't need the bones, we're gonna delete those. Let's take a look at our line of sight. Okay, so line of sight is correct. All right, so you can see here, remember I was talking about line of sight, the number of occluders, these are what I'm talking about. This one would take a little bit longer than maybe an average map just because there are so many occluders. So I'm going to go here, and just get rid of a bunch of them. Delete. Delete. There we go. So especially when they're like this, where they're so packed together, I'm just going to get rid of them. There we go. And so what you can do instead is just make them much simpler, and a lot less compact. It's going to make it to where it doesn't follow the image as perfect, but all you're doing is stopping them from seeing into the wall. So it doesn't really need to be. So we're going to go line, and we're going to draw this in. You want to go inside the wall a little bit anyway. Because otherwise they can't see what it is that's blocking their sight. And there are some maps that have it where their line of sight goes right to the edge, right up here, like along here, like that. And then you can't see, so you don't want to do that. Control Z, no, okay. There we go. All right, so I click in here to make sure there's no gap. And then we'll just start drawing here, boom. It is not going to break the immersion by doing this type of thing. The characters will see the edge of the wall and will know, hey, that's a cavern wall. So my sight actually ends there, and even though it's like another 1.5 foot in game specs. And I'll show you guys in just a moment what this will look like. We'll need to zoom in there and make sure we don't have any gaps. Looks like there's a gap there. All right, so there's a tiny gap. We'll go here to select and just move it. And same thing over here. Just zoom in. This makes really weird stuff if you don't close them. So you want to make sure you close them. All right, let's finish this up and I'll show you what it looks like. We'll build our cliff and be done. All right, let's make sure. I will go ahead and hit select and just marry them up. Move over here. To this one. These are married, so we're fine. All right, so then as you bring your character in, let's go to Combat. Go to play mode, line of sight. I don't care about lighting. Line of sight is enabled. So as I bring in, say for example, this bat, player preview. There you go. So as he moves, that's what he sees. Oh, see all this weird funkiness? That's what I was talking about. How they aren't exact. So there you go. So they know, hey, yeah, maybe I can halfway step through here, but it's still a wall, stuff like that. So it's not, um, they still can't see past this point. There you go. So that's what that is. So let's fix all this weirdness by going back to the line of sight. See, and these aren't exactly married. There you go. Back to play mode, and so now as he moves, he doesn't get that little line. All right, so we'll delete this guy. Delete. All right, so there's our passageway. I might just do theater of the mind, although in this case there is a swamp. So we're going to turn down the grid, make the grid smaller. So instead of 25, we're going to make it 10. What? Control Z. Turn on the aspect lock. I'm not sure why it was off. 10. All right, so we have a much smaller grid now. Good, 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 good. All right, so there's going to be a cliff with some water, maybe a waterfall. So let's go here, back to our trying to get these things to move. Come on, behave, folks. Thank you. So we're adding a cliff and a waterfall because they're going to come upon a chull uh, at the base of a cliff. So as they're going to start climbing up the cliff, there's this creature's going to come out of the water. All right, we have all selected. We're going to go with cliff and just see what happens. Lots of cliffs. Okay. See, this is the one I used before, the cliff mountain brush. This wouldn't be bad. All right, so let's see if I can get this to work. We'll go here to paint. We'll go here, rotate. All right, so this is a pretty darn big cliff. So we're gonna make it 7. So that makes it 10. We need it more than that, so we're gonna make it 10, 11. So that is 10, 20, 30 feet high. That works. That'll work. That'll work. Okay, so now we're going to go to color picker. See if I can get it to match this better. Nice. Not bad. It's not bad. Okay, so now this is a brush in a line. So we then go, let's see how this looks as we paint. Starting above the line of sight. And then it's coming straight down. Okay, so it's not exactly what I want. Control Z. We will do the stamp tool then. We're going to shift it just a bit. There we go. Again, we're going to go above the line of sight. Click. And we're going to try to marry this up as much as we can. Let's flip it. Flip. And then shift to rotate it a little bit. There we go. Look at that. All right, so I like this. It's looking good. And then we hit OK. We go to layer. We go to painting. We shift this over just a smidge. There we go. Right there. All right, so now we add shading. This is pretty cool too, though. All right, so now we add some shading to this. Let's go back to this painting layer and see what happens if we turn down the opacity. Does that help it blend a little bit better? There we go. Turn it down just a bit. Okay. Now we add some shading. So let's go to actually, I think I'm going to take this, slap this puppy in here, go to the tint. Oh, painting. And now we slap this puppy in there. Boom. Okay. Here we go. And we go 0, 0, up to 50-ish, give or take, and then put this down to about 100. Okay. What happened? Okay, go tint. There we go. We did the wrong one. This is 50. This is 100. All right, so now we flip it, rotate, bring this down to about 50. Put it in the stamp mode. We'll add some shadows here. And now we'll bring this down to about 25. And then we're going to flip it. There we go. Shift, turn it a little bit, and then boom, boom. So now as we're clicking this, it stacks it. So it makes it a little thicker. I'm using this design because it just, it breaks up. It's not like a circle. There we go. So we got some more shadows. We'll put a little bit more up here. All right, so I do need water. I need some sort of water. So let's go to lake. This is perfect. I like this one. Let's see. I want to do this one. We'll drop it in here. We will then go, let's see, let's make it wider. Let's go 10. And we're going to flip it. It'll go through the line of sight, and that's fine. We will shift it just a little bit. There you go. Boom. And now we're going to take the tint. We're going to go to color picker. And let's go with as light as we can. Say okay. There we go. Nice. And then we're going to bring it down the opacity just a bit. There we go. A little bit more opaque than that. There we go. Boom. And then we're going to have, say okay. I'm just going to throw this right on it. Boom. Shift, make it a little big, control, make it a little bit bigger. turn it. Perfect, and then we're going to turn down the tint, turn down the opacity. Just break up the water a little bit, the design. There we go. Shrink it. Give it a little shrinkage. Boom. 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 Turn it. There we go. We got some more. I mean, the water itself had this, but here we go. All right, so we have our water. We can also go to our effects. Say OK. Go to water. I think instead I'm going to go to ocean. The distortion is going to be like this. Mask. Blur quite a bit. We're revealing the area, so we hold Alt and we just go yoink. Let's have the distortion be, let's see. All right, so if we get ocean, let's go to water. There we go. We want the intensity to be lower. The droplet, yeah, be lower. Just want a little bit of movement there. All right, so we're good. So we have our place, everything. We just need to go cliff. Add this to our story. All right, well, that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Atomic, appreciate you very much, man. It's nice to know somebody's there, not just talking to myself. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it was helpful. Leave questions and comments if you're watching this on YouTube, and like, subscribe. If you have certain things you want me to cover, I'll be glad to do so. Come check this out if you want to see how it plays out. I do live streaming D&D on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and on Sundays we do Starfinder. So come check us out. Like, subscribe, check out my schedule below, all that stuff. And whatever else you do, enjoy the rest of your day.